Hi Andrew, great to meet up with you and do some further work on your game earlier this week. Just a quick recap on the key points that we covered. The takeaway now is coming on nicely. What we were trying to do, I mean, you can see there in your rehearsal, the hands come in, the wrist set early, and that club is very much sort of, as per the Ricky Fowler image that we gave you some weeks ago now, but that's starting to get in there. When we look at the actual move, it does roll behind. There's some stuff in there that's still, a little bit of the old move, but it doesn't roll behind us as significantly as it once did, and the tilts in the shoulders as a result are much better. So that was you at the start of the session the other day, and we talked about, the ideal model that we've used for you at this moment in time was Charlie in the blue shirt. You can see the hands are coming in much more, left arm much closer to the body at P2. That's getting the arms nice and deep at P4. So what we did, we spent a little bit of time where I was just trying to control the path of the hands and just encourage a little bit more of an inward move of the hands from P1 to P2. This is something you can set up with the alignment canes on your golf bag when you're practicing the nets. That's getting us a little bit deeper at P4, allowing us to attack it a little bit more from the inside and produce a little bit more of a draw shot when we want it. So just a little bit more of an inward move of the hands. The club going behind you a little bit there now is as much to do with the setting of the wrists than anything else. When we looked at it from face on, and this was the big change during your session, and the change that, judging by your email that you sent me the day after your lesson and the smile that was breaking out on your face when you were looking at the changes that were happening, was quite an important change for you. At setup, we do have the handle back a little bit, a little bit more back than what I would certainly like. If we're going to hit the draw, we want to feel like the club's pointing more towards the left hip. So that will be one change that we could make at setup. The drill that we make shortly is going to make that change and help you make that change anyway. But what was happening through the hit, despite an improved backswing, we would get a little bit sort of too much out in front of it with the upper centre. So we've got insufficient axis tilt. We've actually got a situation where we're leaning towards the target. So even though the hips have pushed forward, the upper centre has drifted forward as well, which is making the angle of attack a little bit too steep. So consequently, as you're coming into the hit, you're allowing the club to overtake the hands, which is a way of shallowing out the angle of attack and getting some loft back on the golf club. So what we talked about was doing a drill, and you can see here I'm doing the drill behind you the way I want it done. I'm really maxing things out. I'm creating a lot of axis tilt, and the way I'm doing that is by pushing the hips forward at setup. I'm also pushing the handle way forward. Now this initially is your take on the drill, and you can see that what's happened here is the upper centre has drifted forward, the hips have drifted forward a little bit, but look at the difference in the amount of axis tilt that you're creating. We've not got any axis tilt away from the target there, so a marked difference in how you're trying to do the drill initially and how I want you to do the drill. Now then, as you come through, what I want you to try and do is maintain the handle location, maintain the hip location, and prevent the club passing the hands. So you can see me doing it at the back there for you. So the difference in the way that drill is carried out. Now, if you look at that drill I'm demonstrating at the back, do you need to play golf that way? No, but what you're doing is you're stretching things right to the other end of the envelope. If you look at the impact position that I'm demonstrating there behind you, it's the exact opposite of what we're seeing here. Here we've got upper centre forward. Get my arrows back. We've got the upper centre forward. We've got the hips coming forward less, and we've got the handle leaning back. Whereas here I've got the hips pushed way forward, plenty of axis tilt, and the handle as far forward as I can get it. From there I'm just kind of trying to control the rate and curtail the rate at which the club overtakes the hands. As you progress with this, you now got better at doing the drill. You can see that the hips are now pushed further forward. The upper centre has been maintained. The handle has been pushed forward. And we've now created some axis tilt, sort of away from the target, which is going to shallow the club out for us and allow us to continue to lead with the handle. So from there, we're just going to make some little back swings. Now as you come through impact, bingo, look at the shuffling you've got on that compared to where you were. Now again, what does your normal swing need? Much more of that. As you come through, you're going to prevent the club passing the hands and start to learn to tuck the hips. That was the other thing that you noticed. As the hips were pushing forward more at setup, you were getting more familiar with tucking them under on the way through. Not necessarily on that footage, because that's quite early in the piece. But you can see there's still a little bit of flex forward, but we started to get rid of this sort of flex forward coming through the ball towards the end of your session. So I was really happy with the way things are progressing towards the end. I thought there was some nice changes, but we just need to continue the inward move with the hands, and then whilst practicing, push those hips forward, push the handle forward, and learn to return to that position. It's more of a conditioning thing than anything, and keep adding more and more of that when you practice. When you go out and play, don't worry about the impact too much unless you start to lose the quality of strike. Excuse me. Your main concern needs to be on the inward path of the hands from P1 to P2. Good luck with it. I look forward to working with you again in 4 weeks' time. Thanks a lot. Bye.